and welcome to our final episode in this special Women's World season highlighting gender-based violence, prevention and response in Papua New Guinea. Over the last episodes, we have explored different themes of GBV in PNG, like the health sector response, counselling and care for survivors of family and sexual violence, the legal and policy environment in PNG, men as champions of change, economic empowerment, empowering youth and adolescents, and many more. We have also had outstanding support from the Oil Search Foundation and committed participation from stakeholders like the Health Department, the Family Sexual Violence Action Committee, the Family Sexual Health Unit, City Mission, Warrior Culture, Equal Playing Field, Coalition for Change, and many more. All in all, these stakeholders provide a dedicated network to support victims and deliver gender-based violence prevention and response in PNG. In this last episode, we shall highlight again for you some of the current programs and services that are available for you. We will also highlight the country's first national strategy to prevent and respond to GBV. It's a significant strategy that provides a roadmap to guide an inclusive, government-led approach in implementing all legislation, policies and programs in PNG. But first, let's take a look at recent programs and services in PNG. There are 15 family support centres around the country. One of them is the Family Support Centre in Tari Hospital in the Hela province. Here is the manager of the Family Support Centre, Claire Lembo.
Those survivors who come here who are sexually abused, we always tell them, it's not your fault. Most of them are female. We always tell them, it's not your fault. My name is Claire Lembo. I'm a nursing officer by profession. Currently, I am the unit manager for Family Support Center. I'm from Tari. In FSC, we deal with survivors of family and sexual violence cases only. We provide 5 essential services. Our number one service that we provide is medical first aid. Medical first aid, we are talking about lacerations. Those ones comes with bleeding, especially the intimate partner violence and family violence.
The Tari Family Support Centre also has an outreach team. The outreach team carries out awareness to remote villages, breaking barriers as they go.
This is my job to go out and spread the awareness to the community.
I'm still calling Wabi, part of Wabi. So this is not Chelsea area. So we've never been walking. I would just put myself right.
So even though they get against on me, I didn't get angry or go against them, but I tell them and educate them, doing this thing is not right. So you have to do this and something like that. My name is Godfrey, EMTV. I'm from here in Tari, and I'm 25. I am an outreach worker in Family Support Center in Tari Hospital.
Here is the Baroko Police Station Family and Sexual Violence Unit. Sharing information is Senior Constable Julianne Epe, who tells us how this pilot project has grown over the years, serving more and more survivors of family and sexual violence.
People get a follow up. Follow up. They saw you people already. Okay.
Okay, name Blomiat, I'm Senior Constable Julian Epe. Yeah, I was in the unit for 8 years or so. This unit looks mostly into the issues of women and girls within the family and the abuses, family sexual violence that they've gone through. This unit was, the Boroko one is a pilot project one, so it was set up in 2009. 2009. Okay, I was there then. From 2009 to 2013, we get cases numbering from, say, 10 to 15 cases a day. In 2009, it was just like 5 cases a day because people were not aware that there's a unit that will assist them or help them. Until 2012-13, we see cases, number of cases coming in are from 10 to 15 a day.
On the topic of sexual and reproductive health, Sister Loretta from the Calgary Clinic in Port Moresby speaks of the fear and stigma surrounding sexually transmitted diseases, or STIs, and the importance of having an STI checkup.
I normally tell them that in the past people used to feel scared of it, but now STI is everywhere and anywhere. So we used to have small children coming with it, and a lot of the general population, even married men and women, they are coming in. So it's a part of us too, so we have to be treated. And everything that you say is really confidential, so you can feel free to tell me anything and everything about you. I'm Sister Loretta, and I work at Calgary Clinic as a GBV nurse and STI nurse. I see both females and males as well as small children. I examine them, I treat them, and I refer them if they need to be referred.
City Mission is one organization that has been dealing with survivors of family and sexual violence. One of its key roles is to provide counseling from a holistic approach. Reverend Ronald Brown, the CEO of City Mission, tells us that counseling involves a more deeper healing and is considered vital for a person to live a normal life.
When survivors of gender-based violence come into our facilities, we go to try to help them in terms of bringing hope. We see ourselves from the standpoint of counseling and how we impact people's lives. City Mission is an emergency room, a triage center for those that have been injured and hurt and disadvantaged and in many different ways. My name is Reverend Ronald Brown, and I am the CEO for City Mission. And City Mission is an organization that has been around for about 24 years. And one of the areas that we are active in meeting needs in the community is working with women and children and in some cases men who have been victims of gender-based violence, offering them a place to come, a place to receive counseling, and a place to hopefully receive help and hope.
Gender-based violence affects nearly 2/3 of all women across the country. It's an important issue that needs to be continually discussed and explained in all households and in every corner of society, especially about the different types of violence, the prevention and response available. 2 years ago, Papua New Guinea didn't have an official national strategy to deal with the rise of GBV. However, today we do. We take a look at some of the appeals from different stakeholders in the past years who have been compelled to speak out about the need for a strategy, and we share with you the positive news stemming from the hard work of all stakeholders and financial support from DFAT to finally achieve a national strategy, which is an inclusive government-led method in implementing all legislation, policies and programs of GBV and family violence in PNG.
The UNFPA is an international development agency which promotes the rights of every woman, man and child to enjoy a life of health and equal opportunity. Riet Rowan, gender advisor for UNFPA, stated in discussion on gender-based violence at the Women's Forum last week that countries including PNG lack the willpower to enforce treaties that address GBV.
We have the Beijing Platform for Action with a specific focus on violence against women. We have the CEDAW. We have the Commission on the Status of Women agreed conclusion of 2013. Papua New Guinea agreed with the agreed conclusions as well. The issue is, which we have found time and time again, that global agreements, regional agreements, your country, your government has to implement it, and that's where the problem is.
She also said that study carried out on GBV showed that in the Pacific, most of the perpetrators in cases of violence against women were their partners. And the issue of violence against women has become priority number one for UNFPA. But she stated that NGO and women in PNG will be unable to get the government to do anything due to the lack of national statistics on GBV.
It's not the stranger, it is really the person in the house who is actually abusing physically as well as sexually, emotionally, women and girls. So the value of having national data is extremely important because it puts the government in the position that they can no longer deny it. And it's a public document, so everybody in the world knows it. It shows very high levels, so everybody will ask, including the women, so what are you doing about it to the governments?
Enid Kanatha, Deputy National Program Coordinator with the Family Sexual Violence Action Committee, has said that they have been working with communities and partners to respond to situations, and they are trying to get the GBV strategies to Parliament to have them approved and enforced.
TWG, which is the different partner agencies who are expert in these areas of GBV, that's contributing to the national response. So the best at the moment is ensuring that this GBV strategy is being brought to the cabinet. So that is the position stages where we are in.
Riet Rowan has said that UNFPA believes that violence against women occurs because of the lack of gender equality, and it starts in homes and getting kids to understand that men and women are equal.
When women brought this matter, that I think we were celebrating our 35 years of independence, and women said, our lives have not improved. The violence has gotten worse, and they made a decision to establish the Family Sexual Violence Action Committee with a mandate to address the violence, to find out ways how, both in the family and in the extended family, how violence could be addressed. Family Sexual Violence Action Committee is actually made up of both government, private sector, NGOs, and also the private sector. The international INGOs are also part of the response. And so working together with these people have created the national response that now we are seeing. Health Department has come up with family support centers. Police Department has put in place the FSVUs. We're seeing GESI policy that has now come into existence. We're seeing private sector response that is now happening with women in business doing a lot of things. Coalition for Change that is now working. So there's been a huge response. But even then, it is not enough. We still need to see a lot more happening here. So the national government is taking steps to address this thing, but in various departments, not as a national response. So we were hoping that the GBV strategy we have been working on, and it's now with the Department for Community Development, will go through to NEC for endorsement, because that will then set the the pace for government to work towards addressing GBV in the country.
Times have changed, with new development coming about as of December 2016 when PNG's National Executive Council endorsed the national strategy.
The National Executive Council, NEC, yesterday endorsed the National Strategy to Prevent and Respond to Gender-Based Violence 2016 to 2025. This was to strengthen and establish the work of gender-based violence to achieve zero tolerance of gender-based violence in the country.
It's very important for our country, because this is a really way forward for our country to address issues that has been affecting our families and our society.
The strategy is a long-term commitment for the government and the first of its kind in PNG. Gender-based violence has 4 key objectives, which includes standardized data collection, quality and continuity coordinated approach, long-term supports and advocacy.
But the policy is the start, it's not the end of a process, and we all know that. And part of what we were just talking about just as we came into the room was, now, having got the policy ready, how do we make this count and make it a difference in people's lives? How do we implement this?
A demonstration that was staged today as part of the petition to the government for endorsing the strategy. Hundreds gathered outside City Hall to make their stand on gender-based violence. The strategies will build on existing interventions at national and subnational levels to secure government ownership at the highest level. This will be coordinated and monitored for quality feedback.
And as of March 2017, the PNG National Gender-Based Violence Strategy 2016 to 2025 was officially launched. One of the key aspects of the strategy is to ensure that by 2025, the government of PNG has a functioning gender-based violence communication and reporting structure, supporting the achievement of zero tolerance towards GBV, aligned with the PNG development plans, Vision 2050, and the Sustainable Development Goals. Welcome back to our final episode in this special Women's World season highlighting gender-based violence prevention and response in Papua New Guinea. We continue now with the national strategy that was recently launched. Up next is a presentation by the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Community Development and Religion, Jean Sliviak, at a recent PNG Women's Forum in the Highlands region. The Deputy Secretary clearly explains the purpose of the national strategy for GBV in PNG.
We also have the National Gender-Based Violence Strategy for 2015 and 20. As I've said, this strategy is being engineered very closely with oversight and guidance from our Executive Director for Office of Development of Women, Ms. Gail Tatsi, in close partnership with UNDP. So if I have UNDP in the room, I'd like to acknowledge your support, UNDP, for that support to the Department for Community Development, and of course funding through DFAT as well to make this become a reality. We have a strategy in place which has been endorsed by NEC last month. It is ready to be launched and it will be implemented. That is the gender-based violence strategy. So much of the things we've been talking about last night and over the course of the day before and stuff like this to do with GBV, I'd like to inform us all in the room that government now has a strategy which is intentionally put forth for coordination of all programs and projects dealing with GBV in a coordinated manner, so that reporting back on those issues reach up to Department for Community Development Secretary, and we report to the Minister for the Development, Community Development, Youth and Religion, who can report to NEC on statistics of the differences that have happened in the projects and programs relating to addressing GBV in country. Under the GBV strategy, there will be an establishment of a national secretariat. This secretariat will be responsible to coordinate GBV programs, projects, implementation, and reporting to GoPNG agency under the Office for Development of Women and supported by Gender and Development and Human Rights branch within the department to Department for Community Development. I'd like us all to just spend a moment to understand the importance of this. The GBV strategy in itself is now paving the way for all of us to work with government, partners, NGOs, private sectors, churches, for all of us to join hands together and show forth what we have. We had someone comment in the crowd last night that there's so many people doing things on GBV. That's what the strategy is trying to do. We're trying to recognize there's so many things you're doing. And we want to coordinate that. So there's a coordinating mechanism will be there. So when we do those work, we want to report on our work. And we want to show to government that, look, this is what the churches are doing in Enga. This is what the private sector is doing in Medang. You know, this is what this provincial administration is doing. We want to show government through the reporting process under a coordinated mechanism that we are making a difference as far as GBV is concerned. The importance of identity and national identity that our co-MC and Registrar General was alluding to is we're not just estimates. We're not just statistics. We have an identity as women. And if we're found being a victim or a survivor, we want our stories to be told, going forward, reporting through, and having it done in a coordinated manner so government can have some statistics to show forth that yes, we're making a difference in the life of these women. That's what the GBV strategy is going to do. And this will be coordinated under the Office of Development of Women, the leadership of our Executive Director, Ms. Tatsi.
That concludes this episode and this special season of Women's World, highlighting gender-based violence prevention and response in Papua New Guinea. We would like to remind you that there is counselling available via our hotline called One Talk Counselling Help Him line, which is free. You can call 715-0800. You can also watch this episode and all episodes in this season on MTV Online. Visit our website at www.mtv.com.pg. There is also a radio version available for your listening on FM 100. Thank you very much to all our viewers, participants and stakeholders. On behalf of the Women's World team, until next time, take care.